80% of a church congregation has quit the church after the church forced out a gay choir director. This is being reported by Raw Story. A church in Indiana has seen about 80% of its members leave after a gay choral director was forced out because he was gay. Adam Fraley told the Herald Bulletin that he worked for the United Methodist Church in Alexandria for 6 years and would attend with his partner. A new minister took the church over, and at that point, he was basically forced into, or at least felt the need to resign because of pressure around his sexual orientation. The United Methodist Church actually does allow LGBT individuals to participate and attend in the church services, but they're not allowed to be certified as candidates, ordained as ministers, or appointed to serve. The disagreement started, Lewis, because it was over whether Fraley should have been allowed to keep his job as the choir director because of a divide between the church and members like David Steele. Right decision, you think, Lewis?
To leave the congregation?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know if this has, we'd have to hear from the people. I don't know if this has changed their view on their religion in general, but absolutely the right move to leave the congregation.
The shocking thing to me is that we're in a place in society right now where we're more surprised that 80% of a church congregation is offended by discrimination such that they leave. We're more shocked by that than the fact that 20% of the church congregation ignored the will and the feedback from the 80% and decided they are so okay with anti-gay discrimination that they're going to stick it out in spite of 80% of the congregants leaving. That's how anti-gay they are. But Lewis, because of the situation in the country, we're more shocked by the 80% that left rather than the horrific 20% that stayed.
You're right. Yeah, it seems nuts. But in this particular instance, 80%, that's great. We don't see that very often.
And this is also evidence of the disconnect that's happening right now in the country between the radical religious conservative element of the country and the public at large. Because if you look at polling, large majorities of Americans favor things like universal background checks for gun purchases, marriage equality now, increases in the minimum wage, legal and safe access to abortions, extending unemployment benefits. Yet the radical conservative movement opposes all of these, and they are considered relatively mainstream by the American right.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, but I think we are seeing some changes in that, I don't know, in that area, I guess.
Yeah, we are seeing the polls move. Now we just need to see the true right-wing extremists really considered to be on the fringes rather than still kind of colloquially thought of by many on the right as just kind of part of the right. They are just as valid as anybody else and not extreme.